Hi everyone, my name is Anna Powell and welcome to Audio with Anna. Today I'm here with Mathew Colgan, Secretary of the Irish Secondary School Union. Hi Matthew, how are you?
Hi Anna, I'm great, thanks. Happy to be here.
Thanks so much for doing the interview with me. So you are the Secretary of the Irish Secondary School Union. Would you mind telling everyone how amazing this union is?
Well, I suppose it's a bit of a biased opinion, but we represent students all across Ireland, all our member schools, and we represent the best interests of students in Ireland. I really think it is a fantastic union, and I suppose it is completely biased opinion, simply because I am secretary, but I'm sure you'll agree, and the young people that are tuning in.
And how did you get involved with the Irish Secondary Schools Union?
I've always had a very strong interest in advocacy for young people, for student voice, and for just human rights and social justice, all aspects of justice. And I've been a follower of the ISSU for the last number of years now. My school, my secondary school, is a member school, and we a lot of what the ISSU were doing in previous years. So I said, you know what, why not? I love to spotlight a lot of it. So I said, you know what, why not run for election and see how it goes? And it went very well, apparently. So here we are.
That's brilliant. How did you do your campaign? Was it all online or was it in person or?
Yeah. So unfortunately, due to COVID-19 and the lockdown that was going on during the summer, the ISSU held their AGM in May of just bore this. And before then, all the candidates for the different positions within the ISSU were running online campaigns because of the nationwide lockdown. And what that was that we all made social media accounts. Mine was Mathew for Secretary. And we all campaigned in different ways. And to be honest, it was a very, very different campaign. I'd never really done anything like that before. It was very exciting and thrilling, and any other ads that I could use that are similar. And I think there was a good sense among the different candidates, among the candidates that were running for secretary, that, you know, may the best man win, and that we all kind of were rooting for each other at the same time. So it was definitely a very fun campaign.
That's amazing. What inspired you? What inspires your work as part of the ISSU?
I've been very, very involved with organisations that represent young people, like Corlin and Oak, National Executive. I've done work with the local youth service in Wexford, the SUIS. So I've been very involved in representing young people, and I just felt, you know, I'm heading into the Leaving Cert this year. It's a very important year as we're currently going through a pandemic, and it is, you know, very uncertain for a lot of students. And I said, there's no better person than myself to represent the issues that affect me. Now, that's not me saying that I'm the best person in general, but I felt that I represent values that matter to me and that matter to students that are going through the Leaving Cert this year. And that's what really inspired me, was that at this moment in time, I can affect change that will not only affect me, but affect my peers, people that are going through the exact same issues as I am, coming up to their Leaving Cert, and people in years below. And also the other candidates, most of them are actually very good friends of mine from previous campaigns, through Corla, through different channels that I've been working through. And there was a lot of encouragement from them as well to run.
Wow, I have to say that's very well said. Would it be of your opinion that it's very important for young people to take initiative to enact change?
Absolutely. I'm someone that definitely is a champion for young people using their voices and having their voices heard. To me, like, it is one of the most essential things within the education system is young people and student voice. Like, students are like the key stakeholders within education. There's no education system without students. And I really, really, really do campaign for students to speak up to, like, literally no matter is a small matter when it comes to your education. So, like, any student that is, too scared to speak out or raise their voice, like, I would genuinely encourage them and try to show them that, like, it is so important that their voice is heard. And there are loads of different channels that their voice can be heard through, and the most basic one is their student council, and that's what we represent in the ISSU, is student voice, and we empower student councils to take action on their students' bodies' voices.
So if there's someone listening now who's a young person and hopes to get involved, how would they get involved with the ISSU?
We hope that we can one day involve every school within the ISSU, and you can check if your school is a member school by going to www.issu.ie and checking the membership form and seeing if your school is on the list. If not, you can apply through the Students' Council with the consent of management in your school. Through the same form, there should be an application form on that same page where you can apply to join the ISSU. And we are, like, obviously open arms. We absolutely urge you to join. We provide training, student council training. We provide events for our members that are largely beneficial towards representing you and your voice within the education system. So it is something that I would definitely push to anybody listening is please check if you're a member, if your school is a member school, and if not, push this within your student council and to the board of management in your school.
And are people able to be involved online on, let's say, your social media pages, or do they have to be an actual member?
What I would say is any student can contact us if they have an issue or a query through our social media channels. ISSU for you is our Instagram, and I would urge if any student is having an issue to please do contact us. But unfortunately, if it is a school-wide issue and it's only in your school and you aren't a member school, unfortunately we can't represent your school unless you become a member or are in the process of becoming a member. It's just not possible for us to represent you if you're not in a member school. So that is why I would really push that if you find that you aren't a member school, to please join the union, because it is of your benefit. There is no downside to joining the union. We represent you, we provide you with extra resources and train you up so that your voice can be heard at the highest levels.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Have you seen a big, with people being, with calculated grades error and just in general students returning to school, have you had a lot of contact from students with issues?
There's been a lot of worry. A lot of students have reached out with queries, concerns about the safety of their education. When they're going into school, they're sitting in the classroom. They're questioning, is this safe? Is this like the safest place for me? Would it be better to learn online? We have had a lot of communication from students, and it has been, it's great that students are coming to us with these issues because it allows us then to take that further to the Department of Education and represent these students. And I would say that the ISSU is doing their very best to represent these issues and to represent these concerns. And any questions or queries have been forwarded on to the Department of Education for comment.
I saw that the ISSU created a guide called How's Your Head. Would you be able to tell us anything about that?
It's our new mental health manual. It was the brainchild of one of our regional officers from Donegal. It's a fantastic initiative. I know, again, that's a bit of a biased opinion, but I really do genuinely think that it is a fantastic resource for young people. It just gives you advice on managing your anxiety, managing stress, and managing school life as we were during this pandemic. And it is so important that students do take the time to just clear their head and just make sure, organise themselves and make sure that they're getting the best out of this year that they can with the circumstances that we're in. And that is what that resource is for, is to give students the tool to clear their head, organise themselves, and dive right into education in the best way possible.
That's amazing. Would you be able to give us a reaction from the Irish Secondary Schools Union about the Leaving Cert calculated grades error?
Absolutely. I suppose there was a large sense of disappointment from the ISSU that there was an error, but we do accept and we do acknowledge that the department have thrown their hands up and said, look, there was an issue and we are working to solve it, and we are we were very, very adamant that this is something that needs to be solved ASAP, and that students that were downgraded or left without a college place, that deserved a college place, or that were supposed to get one should get one. And we are delighted to see that is exactly what has happened. I just read there that Minister Harris is very delighted that all students that should have gotten a place have gotten a place, and that is fantastic. From the union standpoint, we are very happy to see that. So again, we are disappointed that there was an error in the first place, and that a lot of students were yet again left in limbo and didn't know what they were going to do. But we are very, very happy that this issue has been solved.
How does the Irish Secondary Schools Union find out the issues facing young people?
Usually we're contacted by a number of students when there is an issue, or we might see some media and decide this is an issue that we need to take action upon. And if it does turn out that we feel that it is an issue that the union can take action on, I suppose it would depend on the issue as to how we go about tackling it, whether that's surveying our members and getting their opinions, and then from there we would write reports, produce statements, contact the Department of Education with this data and with our findings, and with their own opinions, with the opinions of our members and the students of Ireland, and say, look, this is an issue, and it needs to be solved as soon as possible. And what we usually always suggest is that we would be involved with the solution. That student voice is so important, especially when it comes to the education system, that we have to have student representation there, and there has to be student voice within the solution, or else it's not a proper solution. And that is really our process, is that we come together, we gather data, we collect with research, and we produce documents, reports, surveys, statements. We put them out on a public forum and contact the Department of Education.
Are there general problems that do tend to arise from students?
Usually it's I suppose it's more school by school basis. largest issue that we've had is clarification on leaving cert in 2020. And that was a major success on our part, as we represented students and we fought for students. Clarification on that issue. And that's really, it's so important that the union has those communal links, that we have regional officers, that local students feel comfortable coming to their regional officer or messaging on social media or messaging the Instagram or emailing us and saying, I have an issue, how can I solve this? What is your advice? Can I receive support? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is always yes. We can provide advice. We can issue support. We have regional officers on the ground who will represent the union on your behalf. That is what I think is so important to solving students' issues.
That's brilliant. Mathew, thank you so much for doing this interview with me today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your evening to speak with me and inform me about the Irish Secondary Schools Union.
Absolutely, Anna. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and it was a pleasure for you to have me on your show. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thanks again, Mathew, and thanks so much to everyone who's listened.